We are inching closer and closer to summer. Obviously, the weather feeling like it today on this Memorial Day. And many of us may be planning trips to Mackinac Island for the summer months. I know I am going to be headed there for the very first time. I am joined now by Steph Castling, the Managing Director for the Mackinac Island Tourism Bureau. Steph, thanks so much for being with us here on Evening Plus tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Okay, and so we've heard about this before, but once again, Mackinac Island won for the third year in a row now the #1 best summer travel destination in USA Today's 10 Best Readers' Choice. I feel like we hear about one of these accolades or awards every couple of months because it's such a beautiful place here in Michigan. To hear, even, I'm sure it's repetitive, but also so great each time to be awarded another accolade. What is that like for you guys at the Tourism Bureau?
Yeah, we're just honored. We are honored to be stewards of Mackinac Island and get to share such a special place with so many people. And it does seem like a lot of awards keep rolling out, but honestly, they don't get old. We are so grateful for them. We don't take that lightly. Mackinac Island is a historical, very much beloved place, and we definitely are a part of that story, which we're actually absolutely thrilled about. And it's just so fun in our positions and in our jobs to get to share Mackinac Island with people from all over the world.
And I feel like most people in Michigan obviously know all about Mackinac Island. Most people have been at some point in their lives. But if anyone has not been, maybe they're new to Michigan, maybe they've just never made it up that way, to step onto the island and experience, the very unique vibe of being in that part of our state. Can you describe that for me if you can?
Yeah, I don't know if I can. We say it's a feeling you can't explain.
I
You
believe it.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those places you have to see and experience to believe. It truly is like stepping back in time. It's so cliche, but it's so true. There's something so special about not having vehicles, whizzing by. Instead, it's replaced by horses and bicycles and folks walking out on the street. But when you board that passenger ferry and you make, the 15 or 20-minute ferry ride over to the island, you get off the ferry, you step onto the island, and my goodness, there is just this, sense of relaxation, the sense of peace that kind of overcomes you, and you're on Mackinac Island. And you know, to explain that to people, I was just in actually New York City with some representatives from Michigan, and it's such a hard place to explain. We can say fudge capital of the world, we can say there's no cars, but truly we are 80% state park. We have so much natural wonder, there's so much beautiful history here, and it really is a place to explore whether you haven't visited before or you've visited many times.
Absolutely. And obviously this is peak season for you guys getting to where it's, warm and swimming weather and all of that. If people are making the trip, maybe for the 20th time or for the first time, what can they look forward to this summer?
Yeah, we're just starting to warm up. It's been pretty cool here this May, but as we get into, later into spring, all the tulips are just starting to pop for us. The lilacs are just starting to bud. We're a little delayed up here this far north and on the island. We're kind of buffered from the weather, and so we are just, I think, hit 60 degrees today and the sun was shining. But, folks enjoy, I think, many of the classics. Riding bikes the 8.2 miles around the island or through the 70 miles of trails. Taking the horse-drawn carriage tour, learning all about the island and the island's history. Seeing Grand Hotel, it has the world's longest covered porch, built in the late 1800s. There's so much history there and beauty. People ask, what should we do? What activities are there? And some of my favorite things to tell folks is just, pack up a lunch or get takeout from one of the restaurants and, go explore, go on an adventure and enjoy that lunch or that dinner from a view. So there is so much for people to see and do. Lots of shops, lots of dining options, and it's going to be a fun summer.
Absolutely. And for anyone, who hasn't been in a while or maybe is going for the first time, I'm relatively new to Michigan. I'm going to be going with a friend who's been many times, so I got lucky there. But any, tips or things unique to Mackinac Island, just to know, obviously the no car thing, if someone wasn't familiar, that's a big deal. But any other, little tips or things to know to really make sure that your trip, no matter how long, is a great experience?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have a lot of information on our website, mackinacisland.org. We have a lot of blog posts, itinerary suggestions, even what the weather is like, so that folks can, pack appropriately, since, like I mentioned earlier, it is so much cooler up here. Definitely recommend bringing layers of clothes. It can get cool in the mornings and evenings, but in the heart of the day, it can get nice and warm with that sunshine. But I would say, if folks can just extend their stay as long as you can, whether that's a day trip, so coming on one of the first ferries right away in the morning, staying as long as you can into the evening to get that, a really great experience, or if you're able to, spending multiple nights. There's nothing like spending the night on the island after, the day traffic kind of goes back to the mainland and you have the island to yourself, and then to wake up in the morning and hear the clip clop of horses as they're going down the street, maybe delivering freight or some food and beverage to the different hotels. It's truly magical. So I would say if people can, just spend as much time as you can. Like I said, relaxing, taking in the views. It does take a little longer to get places. You can't just hop in a car or in an Uber. You would maybe have to walk, bike, or call a horse-drawn taxi to come get you.
Mm.
So just some planning of some of the different logistics I would encourage folks to look into.
Absolutely. This interview is getting me so excited to visit for the very first time in August. Anything that I have not asked or missed that you just want people to know about, just island living this summer?
Yeah, I think, we have some really great events coming up. I know at our office we're gearing up for the 77th annual Mackinac Island Lilac Festival. That's a 10-day event coming up here in June, and that is one of my favorite times on the island. Honestly, the smells are just incredible, and we have 250 different varieties of lilacs on the island. So to see all of them and learn about them through the free walking tours and some of the events we have going on is magical. We also, have the 4th of July and our annual stone skipping tournament coming up, as well as we moved Fall Fudge Festival to the fall in the beginning of October. We're planning on some new activities for that, and we're really looking forward to it. So, we're only open as tourism on the island for 6 months out of the year. We're a May through October destination, and we really go all in during those months, and it's so much fun. I'm looking out the window right now, and there's folks going by on bicycles, there's horses passing by, and it really is just such a special place.
Oh my goodness, Steph, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm just so excited to visit. And I know that it is such a treasure destination for people who have lived in Michigan their whole life or who are coming from out of state from another area. So thank you so much for talking with us about this. Congratulations, of course, on that latest accolade. I know we all share kind of a togetherness pride when it comes to, somewhere in our state receiving one of these awards. So thank you so much for talking with us on this Memorial Day. Hopefully, if anyone was watching who's never been, they're now encouraged to check out such a great part of our area. Thank you so much for being on Evening Plus.
Yeah, thank you for having me.